Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. And I'm practicing. I've been practicing since Sunday, and I almost have it today. You can be thankful this morning that this is not smell-o-vision, because I've been here. I'm still wearing the same clothes. I mean, hadn't been home, but we're praying to go home today. Anyway, so last night I was up late. I was working on a project, and I was writing. I put on I have a playlist on my phone, and it's called Healing and Encouragement. And so I put it on, and man, it's a good playlist. I need to share the list with you so you can just build your own playlist. And it was just CC Wine, and all the good Tamala Man, all some just really heavy heavy hitters when it comes to praise and worship and worshiping God, right? And man, I just began to sit here and worship and thank God that He's here with me. And so with that, I got up this morning, started reading, worked on that project till about 2. I finally turned it off about 1:30, something like that. And so I got up this morning and I started thinking about how God didn't set any limits. He is the one constant in our stories. He doesn't say, I will walk with you through everything except this or except that, right? He doesn't say, I'm not going to be with you in the hospital room. I don't do hospitals. I don't do needles. I don't do, right? He is there. And so then with that thought, I started thinking about several different scriptures. And I thought of the 3 Hebrew children. They were thrown into the fiery furnace, but there was a 4th man in that fire with them. He walked in that fire with them. He didn't sit on the edge. He didn't say, I'm in there with you, I'm cheering you on. He was with them in it. Then I thought of a story we use a lot, where the disciples were in the boat and how Jesus walked out into the storm to his disciples in a boat. That's bad, ain't it? And then I thought of the prison cell of Peter. It's in Acts 12, where Peter was in jail. It says he was going to be tried he was going to trial the next morning, and the angel walked in and took him out. He had guards all around him, and the angel walked in and took him out. Said, wake up, come on, and took him out of the prison cell. And I was like, God kind of has that habit of walking into things with those who trust him. Now, he didn't stop those bad things from happening. He didn't make it all clouds and creamy, puffy stuff once we follow him. But what he did do was joined them in those struggles. He went in with the 3 Hebrew children. He went into the fire with them. He went into the lion's den with Daniel. He went into the storm for his disciples. He went into the prison cell with Peter. And I was just like, that was really cool. Now, here's why I think I titled this something about unexpected. I don't even know what I titled it right now. But the 3 Hebrew children didn't really necessarily know it. The king didn't know it for sure. He was like, who's that 4th man? There are 3 men in there, but there's 4 men in there. The disciples didn't recognize Jesus when he walked into their storm. They were like, is it a ghost? And they got more scared of him than they were of the storm, right? And then Peter, and here he is on trial for sharing the gospel. He's already seen visions. He's seen thousands come to God. He's seen all these miracles. His mother-in-law was healed by Jesus personally right there on the earth. And yet when the angel came to him in prison, he thought it was a vision. And those praying for him said, when he went to their house, and Rhoda comes, that was my grandmother's name, by the way, Rhoda Maxine. Anyway, and Rhoda comes to the door and she goes, it's Peter. And they're like, it can't be Peter. He's in prison. We're praying for him to get out. Remember, they didn't even realize the answer to their prayer was standing there. And I'm like, that's why sometimes it's just the unexpected. God shows up in the most unexpected places, but he doesn't put any place off limits. He doesn't say, I will not go with you through this or that. I will not, I don't do hospitals. I don't do storms. I don't do prison cells. There's nothing off limit to God. And so as I woke up this morning, when I woke up this morning, I was like, I'm so glad God's kingdom has not changed. My world's been rocked this week, right? But there's nothing about the kingdom of God that has changed. His mercies were still new this morning, and my need for them is even greater. My need changed. I need them more, right? but his mercies didn't change. And here's one thing I want to point out. I'm going to try to hurry because you never know. It's been a revolving door already this morning. When Peter's in the cell here, it says the night before Peter was to be, this is Acts 12, and I can't see the verse, so don't just go read it. Okay. The night before Peter was to be placed on trial, he was asleep. He's asleep. He's chained between two soldiers with others standing guard at the prison gate. And then the angel walked in. But I think what that jumped out to me this morning, and I actually even underlined it, he was asleep. He wasn't setting up fretting the trial. He wasn't setting up worrying if he was going to die for the gospel. He wasn't setting up going, I don't know what God's going to do. I thought I was supposed to preach the gospel today. I'll be in the prison cell, and I don't know. He was asleep. That indicates to me that this dude was at total peace. He was trusting God for his future because he had seen God work in his past. And now here he is in a prison cell, waiting trial, and he's not up praying, oh God, please get me out of this. He's asleep. That's the act of complete, total trust. You know, one time Jesus was asleep. Remember the time they were in the boat? It was one of the two big stories of them in the storm. They were in the boat, they were in the storm, and they're like, oh my God, we're going to die. And they went and woke Jesus up because he was at perfect peace in the middle of the storm. I'm telling you, we can have God's peace in the middle of trials. That does not mean we don't stress out a little bit. It doesn't mean we don't worry a little bit when we're trying to get our grip on whatever's going on. We have perfect peace in the middle of the stuff. Peter gives us this example. He didn't know what the future held. He just knew he was supposed to go on trial the next morning, and he just laid down and went to sleep. He's got guards around. It's not going to be comfortable physically. It's not going to be comfortable spiritually. It's not going to be comfortable emotionally, but he went to sleep. A picture of perfect trust, knowing God's got me. A picture of perfect peace, knowing that God's with him in this prison cell, just like he was with him in the boat, just like he was with our Bible heroes in the Old Testament. So I think right now it's time for a nap. Peace out, you guys. Have a great day. I'll probably see you again tomorrow.